again, I'm Rebecca from the Glit Stitchery. I'm here today with another food coloring based dye video. So this one in particular is like getting back to my roots. Back when I first started working with yarn and making my own yarn, I still lived with my parents and I wasn't really able to use the kitchen much for dye work. One moment, I have to go figure out what my cat is chasing. One second. All right, I'm back. So when I first started doing dye work, I lived with my parents and all I could really use, since they didn't want me using the stove for dyeing yarn. Oh my God, they found another one. Okay, these kittens, they have discovered that my houseplants have little rocks on top of them. And they keep climbing up to the houseplants and stealing rocks. So if you hear like weird skittering noises in the background, they are batting around tiny rocks that no matter how hard I try, I cannot find all of them. They're everywhere. Anyway, dye work. Okay, I was not allowed to use the stove to dye yarn. And I had to do everything as unobtrusively as possible and with as little bad smells as possible. So a lot of my dye work ended up being inside plastic Ziploc bags in the microwave, usually with some container under it to keep it from leaking in the microwave. So I'm not going to be microwaving this, but I am going to be doing all the dye work in a giant plastic bag. And I'm going to do sort of like a mock kettle dye, or a mock space dye, I guess. We're just going to see how this works out, because it's been a very long time since I've done this. So I have some Kool-Aid ready. We're going to do some base layers of my personal favorite, Blue Raspberry Lemonade. It's a very pale blue, and it also adds the citric acid to the water, so then I can add other food colorings to it. So I have the Wilton's Colorate system, and maybe some Wilton's Violet, and we'll just see how this comes out. So I'm gonna go get some water heated up, and I'll put this in time lapse, and we'll see how this goes. Right, so I'm going to be leaving this at least overnight, probably longer, and I think the colors are going to be pretty darn cool from what I can see so far, but hopefully it'll soak up more of the dye. So I forgot to mention it in the first place, but the fiber I'm using is the Cheviot sock blend that I got with my last Paradise Fibers order. So that particular order, I did a dye video for that order as well. So this is just me following up on that. As for the colors used, I used blue and green, I don't know, store brand food coloring drops, and I used Wilton's Colorite pink, and then Wilton's violet. I think it's just called violet. Let me check that actually. Yeah, Wilton's Violet icing color, and then of course the 2 packs of Blue Raspberry Lemonade Kool-Aid. So should be some pretty cool colors, and after this is all done, tomorrow we'll take it out, we'll see how much of the dye it absorbed, and then after it dries we will spin it up into socks. So here is how my Walking on Sunshine blend came out. If I remember right, this one was Cheviot and some sort of nylon, possibly faux cashmere, which is a stretched nylon if I recall correctly. Anyway, this is how it came out. It mostly came out how I expected, other than some like random weird green patches. So you can see there's a lot of pinks and purples, some blues. It's pretty cool looking, I like this one. So we're gonna divide it up into 3 and we're gonna spin this for socks. So it is still a little damp. Taking it out of the braid will allow it to dry faster as well, so no harm in me doing that now and dividing it up now. And then when it's fully dry, I will film the spinning part, and we will see how the finished yarn comes out. I like dyeing in braids like this because then you get a lot of color variation. Some portions of the braid absorb dye more than others. And when you actually spin it, the colors sort of blend together more smoothly. Makes for a really interesting, gentle, finished yarn. Just undoing all of that. And this one is almost dry, so I should be able to spin this tomorrow. But I'm gonna finish dividing it up, get it all set up, leave it to dry overnight, and we'll start spinning tomorrow. Singles are done for the Cheviot sock blend, the Walking on Sunshine blend, and as I was spinning this, I remembered that I had received this fiber in a package before. I believe it was the May 2022, and this is the sock yarn I spun that time. So this one I did do an opposing ply, I believe. Let me look at that again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. So it was 2 clockwise, 1 counterclockwise, then plied counterclockwise. So for this one, just to mix things up, I did all 3 plies, spun clockwise, and we'll ply counterclockwise. And then we can compare the yarns a little bit, see if they look different or not. They'll look a little different, I think. I don't know, I keep second guessing if I actually did that with this one or not. I think I did. I'll have to rewatch my video. I'll have all of my previous videos about this yarn as well as Cheviot in general linked below. So I'm gonna go get my other spinning wheel ready and we can start plying. This yarn is all finished. I think it came out a little bit more even than my last attempt at this particular blend. Not that, because this one does have some more lumpy bits. But I'm gonna make socks out of both of these. Not in this video, that is a separate, well, I'm not even sure that'll be a video, we'll see. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, I feel like the second attempt at this fiber came out a little bit more even, though still not perfect. It does puff up a lot when you wash the finished yarn. I thought when I was done plying it that it'd be more like fingering weight, but it's definitely closer to more of a worsted weight, which is fine. I've already picked out some sock patterns for both of these. I will link to them below. They're just some free sock knitting patterns for thicker yarn. Like I said, I've never actually knit socks before, so that'll be my first attempt at that, but definitely don't want it to be on camera since it is my first attempt at knitting socks. So, these are all done. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see y'all again soon.